Good morning, everyone. This is BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today I'm here with my friend and co host, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina, and we are the BizChicks. We're here because it's Coffee, tea, thoughts, and conversations with the BizChicks on First Monday. And on First Monday, we like to feature some of our fabulous BizChicks. So we're going to get this party started. We want to give a shout out to everyone watching live on the replay and those of you in the clubhouse. We just want to say howdy, 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 and welcome to the conversation. How you doing today, Fran?
I'm doing really well. We got Pat Murray.
Hey, Pat. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good to see you. Um, Durham, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I got to remember the Carolinas and get them right. Um, Good to see you, Pat. Today we were talking about change. It's in the air.
Mm-hmm.
The season is changing. And one thing about seasons, they do change, and you can expect that the season is going to change. And so we don't need to get freaked out about the fact that the season is going to change. We just need to get prepared for it. What is it in the Game of Thrones? Winter is coming. We know this. And so change should not take us by surprise. We need to prepare for it. We can get an indication sometime of what's happening or get an indication, if we just, let me test it. Okay, expect that change is going to change. Change is the only thing that does not change. We need to be prepared. We need to be ready. And so that's the encouragement for today around the conversation. Be prepared for the change. Whatever in your industry, in your life, change is coming. And if you prepare for it, I think that's what insurance policies and different things are helping you to get ready for the shift. You're not going to be 21 forever, although the store would like to think you can continue to wear stuff from Forever 21. And you understand, change is happening. It's always some change we think is sudden, but it wasn't sudden. It was a progression of situations and then it developed. I don't think anything ever happens suddenly. We notice it suddenly, but it didn't occur suddenly. There were things that have occurred. Hey, Jerry. So a succession, the change is coming. Mm-hmm. Let's get ready for it. Let's get ready for dynamics. There are things that happen in the business world. Okay, even with the situation where we've been in virtual mode because of things that happen with the pandemic and what happened. Okay, so that change happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now what are we going to do? If we'd have just stopped and like, oh my God, we can't do anything. Okay, we had to start making different decisions based on some decisions of other people that they made in a lab somewhere. And then, and it caused this ripple effect, but we had to be prepared for the change. We must always be prepared to change. We don't freak out about the change. You look at it. What do we need to do? What do I need to step right? Do I need to step left, step back, step forward? Okay, so we're not doing business like we used to, where we used to gather together and go places, taking classes. Now it's online. Oh, wait, and it's a lot better. Who doesn't like not having to get in a car, drive to a crowded campus, try to find parking when you can simply go online and have your class or your course and do your classroom work. I know we like to be social too, but you can still do that. But the point is, I'm not driving all over the place looking for parking and trying to hurry up and get to from one destination to another. I was like, So change happens. We just need to embrace it and prepare for it. I guess that's what I'm saying in a nutshell. And we've got a couple of people from all of our Facebook channels and our BizChicks TV channel too, over on YouTube. So anyway, change is here. We're in a new season. It's fall.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas is coming. Do you have your situation set up for your clients and your customers? When we say clients and customers, not just the people who are buying who sell things, people who offer services. What kind of holiday services can you offer? Doesn't have to be necessarily tangible things that are sold at Christmas time. Can you help us change our thinking or help us get, the different people like that? Why?
Trish is super fast.
Why do,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Why do we need to wait till January to make a New Year's resolution and get healthy?
Mm.
What about today? Start bringing in better foods, better, drink our water. I know we call this Coffe Tea and Conversations, but water over coffee. I had to make a change. Water over coffee. Make water first.
I like the idea of, taking care of our health immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And not waiting until
4 months from now.
Oh yeah. Or waiting until the doctor says you need to do something.
One of our Facebook listeners says you're talking their language.
That sounds like Robin. I'm not sure because we got a couple of things happening. I don't know if that's she came in on the BizChicks group, perhaps. I'm not sure whoever it is. But anyway, that's our conversation for today. Ooh, breakfast smoothies. Yep, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry, I recently changed one of my meals to a breakfast smoothie because I recognized that when I came back from vacation, I wasn't eating salads like I had been. So wait a minute, I got to get this in here. So I decided to start with a smoothie in the morning and put as many vegetables in there as I could, so that I make sure I get them. Get something green in my life.
Yes, greens are good. That was lettuce. That is lettuce.
Hi, lettuce.
That is lettuce. And I think she was going to talk about her business and what she's got going on too. So I need to.
I'll text her. I'll text her the link.
Okay. So that is the conversation for today. And it all wraps around change. We need to just be ready for it. And we also have, before we dive in and start talking to our guest, Miss Carrie Hagen Smith, she is going to tell us a little bit about what she does and how she helps and serves. And we're going to learn about Carrie and, see how things are going. What we want to give you an opportunity, if you haven't already done so, to become a part of the BizChicks community. Just text biz to 33777. And I got it, Terry, because you're doing something else. So you can join the BizChicks community just by texting B-I-Z to 33777 and join the community. Now, we do have the community page over on Facebook, but that page is a little, or that group, I should say, is sometimes it's like going through a gauntlet when you go into Facebook to try and get to the group
To
and
some of this stuff. Yeah.
yeah, it's just a
It's,
lot.
it's not as easy as it used to be to navigate over there.
Correct. Hey, Yolanda. So
They're
what we
doing
want,
some road work. I don't know what.
that's a good way to put that. They are trying to make things better and stuff, and the furniture keeps moving and stuff. And so we have another community page, and it's at bizchicks.net, or you can text biz to 33777. Either one of them will get you to the group page. Over there, we will put events, our workshops, everything that we need, that you need, will be in those groups. And we are also offering, you know how your technology, you need to uh, be able to do business with your clients. Well, we've come up with a way to simplify the tech side of stuff so that you have your what they call a funnel. I call it a place for your people to get to know you. Anyway, so that you can have that whole system done and not have to be, well, how do I set up a funnel, and how do I get a mailing list, and how do I get a landing page, and that. We'll set all that stuff up for you. The fee is very nominal. Is that the word?
No, it's the
A
word.
nominal fee, and you'll be up and running, and you'll have all of your things. We'll help you set up your product landing page with payment. We just worked on something for a couple of clients, and they're like, "Oh, is that all?" Yeah, because you shouldn't have to have a hassle with the tech stuff. You just should be able to serve your clients without that hassle. So that's what we do. We're going to help you do that. If you're interested, you can DM us, text us, and we'll give you more detail about it. We do offer some one-on-one workshops. That means a workshop with you on your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which sometimes what you need, there's a group workshops, and those are great because we're going to be having a workshop coming up on how to use Mojo. We talked about it on our Instagram live so that you can go live on your Instagram and start doing reels and some other things. And there's an app called Mojo, and a few ladies expressed interest in wanting to take a workshop for that. We will do a workshop on that, and you will get notification for that. We'll put it in both the groups, and we'll send you a text message as well. So that's a couple of things that we got going on. Terry, am I forgetting anything?
Just on Thursdays, we will be going live on Instagram. Guys,
Yes.
we hope you'll join us, and you can always request to be a guest once we're live. You can come into the audience, and if you'd like to talk to us, we'll be answering questions on Instagram.
Instagram Live. Woohoo!
That's one way to interact with us and to get some of your concerns addressed.
Yep. And yeah, we're having fun. We're just doing some tweaking to the system to make it easier for you all.
Yep.
All right. I think that's all of the housekeeping. Got it all out of the way?
I think so. I think we're ready to talk to our special guest.
I am excited. We met Carrie at a tapestry event. Oh, she said no?
Nope, she's shaking her head.
Okay, well, let's bring her in and let's see how we actually met her. Because I
Yeah,
thought I met
find
her
out the real story.
because I thought I met her at the tapestry event that was going on.
And no. Okay.
Okay, well, let's bring her in and she can tell us the rest of
Maybe
it.
we met her at Seasons. I wonder.
No, I'm telling you, it was
No,
okay.
she's shaking
Anyway,
her head. Look, let's bring her up.
bring her in. Hey, Carrie.
Good morning.
Sure.
Actually, we met at Brenda Byers' event down at right, and oh gosh, I forgot because I was helping Brenda with the whole thing, right? Helping produce it. And I was emceeing it for her, and that's where we met because you guys had a booth
at the Lions Hotel.
The Lions Gate over in McClellan.
At the Lions Gate. Exactly. Yes. That's where we first met. And then you're right, Terry, I did join you at Seasons. I missed the live events.
I do too. I really do.
Yeah, those were fun. And I miss the women that we all, network with.
Exactly.
This is a little different these days, right? As you say, it's changed.
Mm-hmm. And we may go back to the live events. We just got to figure out how to rework them. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
And if you all are interested in refiring, is that a good word? Refiring the live events, put a 1 in the chat, or send us a DMs, get us our attention some kind of way, because we got to figure out how to make that work.
Yes.
Again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Carrie, tell us what it is that you do. Did you recently pivot your offerings?
I did. Actually, we closed down our last business in 2019, just before this, because I'm a live speaker, right? I mean, that's what I've been doing forever. And so it's a trail to how I got here, because I know sometimes you like the background too. But in 2019, my business partner, Karen Wells, and I shut down The Secret Weapon, Inc., where I was doing live presentations and selling tickets to our 2-day boot camp. And we had our own training room in Granite Bay. And we were doing 2-day trainings, kicking business owners' butts around the room, And thank goodness that shut down just before, I was 218, I guess, just before all this happened. So we feel pretty lucky that we aren't in a lease for a training room and doing live events, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it makes a big difference. What I was doing back then was we were creating strategic plans for the SMB market, the small to medium-sized business market. And a strategic, I hear everybody say, well, I'm a business coach. I'm a business coach. Usually what they mean is they're a marketing coach. They're not really a business coach. What we did as business consultants was look at the whole business. And here's the one thing that most business owners miss: profit. They talk about revenue. They miss profit. They don't really target profit in so many cases. I'm just telling you, I've looked at enough P&Ls because I had to look at 3 years behind P&Ls, see where they were trending, where their real high points and what they were offering, where they were actually making profit and what they like to sell. And sometimes what we like to market is not our highest profitable product, right? Especially if I'm working with a deli or I'm working with physical therapy units, or depends on who we're working with, right? But unfortunately, profit is not a word that most of us think of. So when I renamed my new company TSW Consultants to go along with The Secret Weapon, right? And everybody says, okay, Carrie, so what's the secret weapon? And the secret is profit, whether it's in your business or it's in your home. And we don't even think of profit in our home either. If I've got money at the end of the month, I spend it, or okay, maybe I'll put it away, or I'll throw it at some bills, but we don't think of it as profit.
Wow.
Wow. Interesting. I would not have used that word for my household income. Yeah.
Right. Most of us don't. We don't think of it that way. And so I like to help people look at it that way, especially now that I work with debt, and how we work with debt is pretty unique. So helping people either leverage debt or eliminate debt. There are two schools of thinking. If you're rich, you want to leverage debt. If you're middle class, you want to learn how to completely eliminate debt. And if you are a little on the poor side, you want to get no debt ever. So, I mean, that's the philosophies as according to the financial echelons, the way they describe it. And there are certain people who speak to those groups. Don't get into debt. Once you're in debt, get out of debt and just leverage debt. OP money is the best. So it depends on what your mindset is.
Nice.
So now, if people are interested in attacking their debt or managing it or leveraging it, how do they get in touch with you? Are you doing workshops? Are you doing individual sessions? How does this work?
I have a number of things. would you like to hear how it works, or do you just want to have
Yes.
okay. I just didn't know how long I have, so I just want to make sure that I'm not.
You are fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me just tell you a little bit more about how most people operate with debt, right? First of all, why do we get into debt? Because we've got a lot of school debt. We get an education. Many times it's to buy a business or a franchise, right? It could be because they're buying a car, a boat, or an airplane. We've had clients with airplanes that wanted to reduce their debt and leverage that. And there are so many reasons that we go into debt, because OP money is the way the world works. So that's not a bad thing. Let's stop talking about good debt, bad debt. Can we start talking about good interest, bad interest? All debt has interest that's unnecessary. How's that? Instead of looking at debt as a good thing or a bad thing, don't care what your philosophy is. Let's just agree that interest is bad. I mean, the banks are making buku bucks off our debt. Would you agree?
Yes.
Right? So fine. That's how we get into a house. That's how we get into a car or buy a business. That's fine. That's great. But is it possible that all of the interest that they're asking us to pay maybe doesn't have to be? How could that possibly be? Well, we've all tried different ways, different options. 60% of Americans are paying the minimum on all their bills. And here's the big killer. If you have auto pay, we call auto pay a wealth delay. It's because you're not paying attention to it. You're just letting it ride, and you're probably paying it on the wrong date. The date matters, and to the penny matters, believe it or not. So auto pay is our wealth delay in this country. It's a big way to just forget, it's a set it and forget it. And so we're going to end up giving the bank everything that they want. And in some cases, credit cards can take 50 years to pay off if you don't add any more money to them, because it depends on how much is actually going to principal. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't know this. I didn't understand any of this until 4.5 years ago when I started studying it. So I know it sounds geeky, but I've been loving studying this. And I've taken a couple of amortization classes, just not that I need it for this business, but I love knowing it, right? So really understanding that interest does not equal interest is pretty important. So besides just paying the minimum, some people decide that they're going to use the dartboard method. They'll throw a few extra dollars at their bills. So if it's a $187 bill, minimum payment, they'll spend $200 or $225. Is that really the right place to put that money? And does it go into a black hole? Yes, it can, a good portion of it. And so that's why what our software does is completely different. Some people want to do debt snowball or debt avalanche. Those sound nice and they're emotionally rewarding, but they're not mathematical. At any one given time in your bill cycle, that might be the bill that the money would go towards by the algorithms, but generally they're not mathematical in any way. They just make you feel good, right? So what we do has nothing to do with any of those. Or actually, it has something to do with all of them, depending on your situation that month and that particular bill. That's what's so exciting about it. Most of us don't realize, and this is I will say I didn't understand this. It took me a long time to really understand that 34.5 cents of every dollar in America goes to pay down debt. And most people say, but I don't even have a credit card that's 34.5 cents. So how on earth is that an average in any way? Well, most of us don't know that our mortgage is anywhere between 47%, and now we've found it up to 115% with the new, the new rates at 5.99%. Our latest mortgage that we ran, he is at 115% simple interest. So what do I mean by that? Well, it sounds cute to have a 4.5% interest rate, and it gets us into a home. And in the old, this is a couple of years old, but that'd be $1,013 for your payment, and you can handle that. So we're like, woohoo, we can get into a home. And that's why OP money works so well. It's genius. However, if you take a look at that 4.5 interest, they will have paid in 20 years. Now, this is a 30-year mortgage. In 20 years, they will have paid $245,000. That's on a $200,000 loan. So that $45,000 is already 23% simple interest of your loan. And you got 10 years to go, and you still have $97,000 that you owe. So by the time we get to the end of that particular loan in that day, and that was a couple of years ago, it's an 82% simple interest loan. When we take out a 4.5% interest loan on a $200,000 house, we're not paying $9,000. That would be the simple interest on 4.5%, right? We're not paying $9,000. We're paying $365,000 for that home. It'll be $165,000 in interest. So here's everybody's homework. Go look at your mortgage paperwork. It's generally on page 5, and it must tell you what the TIP is, and it's called total interest percentage. It must tell you that on your paperwork. So go look at what your TIP is, and it would be fun if you posted it. Well, I know you said the Facebook page is changing, haha, and changing and challenging, right? So I don't know if you want to post it there, but you'll be surprised at what everybody posts. And with the newer interest rates, it's going way up.
So total, what is it called again? Total
interest percentage. Here, I can put it in comments. Oh, I don't think I can comment to
You put it in the private chat.
I can put it in the private chat, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll put it over there, total interest
percentage. And that's why we're tipping the bank, is why we say that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a tip. That's a big tip.
Exactly. And do we have to do that? No. Not at all. So our option is, of course, in order to figure this out, really, we would need to do the algorithm for every bill every time. Mm-hmm. We would need to create an algorithm for that. And if you only have 6 bills, and if you use factorial math, which means 6 times 5 times 4 times 3, you will come up with 720 options for moving your money for that one bill, for those 6 bills. How do you choose out of 720 options? What's the combination that's going to work?
Oh, wow.
It's mind-boggling. I didn't know any of this. We've signed our mortgage paperwork, right? We didn't look at this. We didn't know what we were looking at. We had no idea, right? So the beauty is, let the system stand as it is, but we come on the backside and give you where's the bonus, right? So some mathematical examples. If you're just trying to eliminate debt, I had a couple who's in their mid-60s, and he just wanted to retire his student loan debt before he retired, right? Mm-hmm. And I have a lot of people like that. They still have their master's program or their doctorate debt in their mid-60s. And debt doesn't die with you. It goes to your estate and still collects. Everybody thinks that your student loan debt is going to be forgiven. It's all pretty and just wait. Well, $10,000 for most people isn't going to go very far in their debt.
Not a big dent. Mm-hmm.
Right. I've got somebody right now that has 11 student loans. And he's actually acquiring more because he's going through his master's. So, and I'm talking about people in their mid-40s that are doing this, mid-50s that are still doing this, right? Because they're pivoting, as you said, they're making a change. And that's fine and important, but student loan debt is a vicious animal, the way they have structured it and the way they have allowed us to stretch it out. So student loan debt, I have a business partner that I work with specializes in student loan debt, especially. So I always partner with her when I have somebody with student loan debt, because it only makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. To have the specialists in certain areas. We also work in Canada, so she's my Canadian specialist as well, because they have very different mortgages. I don't know if you're familiar, Francine, if you've ever seen a Canadian mortgage, but they buy their interest for certain months. So they might buy a 1.5 for a month, for a year, or for up to 5 years. And then now they have to buy another interest rate. So it's all very interesting how theirs work. Yeah, I understand it enough to know they're different, but I don't understand it the same way that my business partner Jessica does. But it makes it fun to go up there. We have a couple of canola farmers up there that wanted to restructure. You know, we don't restructure debt. We just put them through the system, and they just work the system. So going back to my couple who wanted to retire their student loan debt and everything else, they have their homestead and 3 properties and a car loan and 1 credit card that they use, you know, to pay off. They pay it off all the time, right? And we took them from 26.1 years in debt to 11.4 years in debt. We saved them, if they follow the prompts, they will save $93,000 and change in interest. And at 64, being out of debt in 11.4 years seems a whole lot more interesting than 26.1, right?
Yeah.
And here's how much money we used every month. Everybody says, well, you got to throw all your money at it. It's a rice and beans diet. No, it's not if it's mathematical. Mathematically, I only used $11 a month in discretionary income for that outcome. So what we do is I give you a completely complimentary savings analysis. I don't need any account numbers, don't care. All I need are the raw numbers, and I can put it through and show you what's possible. It is completely remarkable. Or if you want to leverage debt, and you work in real estate all the time, Francine, to leverage debt, this is beautiful. So this was not my client. This was another colleague's client, but he took them from their homestead, right, their one house where they lived, $170,000 in debt all told. And they were going to use our system to find properties to buy because our system's completely dynamic. You drive up to a house and you go, okay, that's a house I may want to buy. Let's go back and put it into this system and see how long we'll be in debt with that particular house and that income. And it will tell you. So we have a complete system that tells you even if the next car is a good buy, but I'll talk about that in a second. So our colleague took this person from $170,000 in debt and 28 years to go on just that mortgage and whatever credit and auto loans he had, right? He now bought 3 more properties. He's now $709,000 in debt, and he'll be out in 4.5 years by following the prompts in our program.
I think
so that's what I mean by leverage, baby.
I think we need to have
conversations with Carrie.
Yes, conversations with Carrie, because just now this is eye-opening because it's not, we just got a new peek into a different window, like, oh, what's going on in that over there? And we're not looking at everything else that's flying around regarding debt. You just gave people hope.
Clearly. And this is why I love it. This is why I get so excited. Thank you, Francine, for saying that, because hope is what I think we have more than anything. And for realtors or mortgage or financial professionals, I do a partnership. I'm going to put this in the chat for you guys, and you can share it if you'd like. I have a 30-minute webinar that's every Tuesday, and you can sign up for whichever date works for you. On the Pacific, here in the Pacific time frame, it's at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock on the West. I work all over, Canada and the United States. And this is an opportunity to see how it could work with a professional. If you're not a professional, it's a webinar. You can watch it and you'll see some of these things that will make sense to you. And you may want to get your own savings report. But for realtors and mortgage and financial planners, they're using this as a gift. So when you give a closing gift to a homeowner, you roll up a gift certificate, right, for their savings analysis. So after they've been in the home and had to make a couple of those payments, then they get a chance to see how quickly they could be out of that mortgage. And that is, and all of their debt. Doesn't matter what their debt is, all of it. It all fits in our system. And I don't need anything of personal note except your name, address, and phone number, right? But I don't need anything else because the system doesn't care. It's not reporting to the IRS. So the system doesn't care, right?
This is wonderful.
It
Okay.
is so much fun to work with. And when I say that Karen and I worked with the Secret Weapon Inc., and I worked on spreadsheets, the next 5 years of your business. So you're talking to business owners here. I talk about business for the next 5 years and find out where they can increase sales in certain areas, or which areas are the right ones, so that they can end up with the dollar figure they're looking for in 5 years, right? But here's the thing. I realized after getting into this business that we did not have on there the line item that says eliminate debt. We just put their debt in the spreadsheet, but we never put eliminating debt and what that plan was, because I didn't know there was one. I had no idea of the scope of possibility that doing an algorithm can do. So going back to that, we have one of our colleagues, when he got into this, he said, okay, well, I do algorithms. I know how to make that chalkboard full of, a beautiful minds kind of mathematical calculations, right? And so he said, I'm going to do this for 6 months and I'm going to beat the system. Well, he did it for 2 months. He fell behind by $1,800 with the system. And he said, forget it. I already spent 120 hours on algorithms to see if I could beat the system. I'd rather do it at the push of a button.
There you go.
So,
right.
Yes. So what I'm thinking is, if you need, we put Carrie's link in the chat. If you need to book a session appointment or something to figure this out, because this is the change. I had no idea when I decided to talk about change today. This is the change that we need, because the way debt is taught and managed right now is not effective, because you're still chained to the system. You're still in the cycle, and you're trying to get out, and it's not working.
Well, and the change that's coming in 2026, the tax law is all changing. The tax law we have, I'm also a speaker for Bradford Tax Solutions. So I speak to business owners and 1099s and so forth. I have an hour-long one coming up, if you'd like to, that is just for my friends and the people that to come to this one. It's not, I usually speak for a lot of realtors and insurance and so forth, but I love to speak for the women and men that I know that are in business that do file 1099s. How do you do this? What is a Schedule C? How can you work this? And if you are a real estate investor, I know you're filing an RE, a completely different form. And because it doesn't have all of the categories on it the way that a Schedule C does, they think they can't deduct all the same things, but you can. You just have to write in that blank little line what it is. So I go over all of that and give you amazing tips. Yes, of course, you get to see what our whole program is about, but I will save you thousands of dollars just being on that webinar. So I'm happy to share that with you as well.
Yeah, please put that link in there. We'll get that over on the Clubhouse. Alexis is in there, and Mr. is also listening in. So we're going to put the link in there. This is genius.
It's so much fun to watch and help people. So I'm going to give you the car example really quickly, because I absolutely love this. Already using, there's 2 examples I have for you, but already using our program, and their car broke down. They had figured, okay, we can afford a $30,000 car for a 60-month, we can add 60 months onto our bill. Well, they put it through the system and it was only adding 1 month. So then they said, what if we bought a more expensive car, right? So they put in a more expensive car and it added 7 months, and they went, woohoo, we get the car we want. And it only added 7 months to our total indebtedness, because the dashboard keeps telling you how much you've saved and how much more you've got to go in your debt. And it tells you how much longer you would be in. That's why I love the dynamic system. You can put any scenario in it and go, oh, that's going to be too long. I don't want to do that, and take it out of the system before you make a decision. Most of us don't have a third party to make a decision, right? And if you're in a relationship, how many people in a relationship don't have the same money mindset? How many would you think? All of us? Right?
But
Whether
this
it's a business relationship, a personal relationship, we just don't have the same mindset. For some reason, we're all attracted to opposites. So the beauty of this is that it's a completely uninterested third party in the emotional side, right? It's not interested in your emotion about it. It's just going to tell you the facts. So you get to tell it, say, well, let's refer to the videotape and see what the system and see what it should tell us. Then you get to still make a decision. You don't have to follow it, but at least it's a tiebreaker, if you will. And it gives you the opportunity to say, okay, maybe this isn't a good idea now. And here's the weird part. When you use the system and you do have debt, you find out that your cash is costing you. We think, oh, but I pay cash for that, so I don't have to worry about it. I didn't incur more debt. And what the system will tell you, like one of our clients, they were buying business books and they thought, okay, that's a good investment, right? These are books for my business. So they bought business books and put it in the system, just $45. And the system said, to the equivalent of what the system says is, what were you thinking? Now you're behind. And so it said to catch up, that oil change you were going to do the end of this month, don't do it until next month and you will be caught up.
So when giving you strategies and plans to get out of debt, manage the debt, and then you don't feel stuck in unproductive or frightened and scared because you don't know what's happening.
It's so empowering. It is just absolutely fabulous. And I always give the scenarios, whether it's going to be $50 more. And here's the thing, most of us are already throwing extra money at our debt. So I take all of that extra money, $50 here, $21 there, $7 there, just to round up. We feel like we're doing something, right? But we don't honestly know which debt is actually taking all that money, and where they're putting it, but that's okay. I take all of that, add it up, and it usually adds up sometimes to a couple $100. So I let the system play with that couple of $100 that you're already throwing at your bills. And the system, when you looked at how you were going to do it, you'll still be in debt this long, right? And the system says, oh, let's take that down from 30 years to 7 years. How's that sound?
Okay, I need to get my appointment. If y'all don't hurry up and get yours, I'm getting that
So
appointment.
now to book an appointment, do we need to go to
just use my email. I put my email up there, and it's carriehakensmith@gmail. I just make life easy.
Okay, we'll
Who
put
cares
that
what my
in
business
the
name
chat
is?
then.
Yes. And over on, I put your workshops over here on Clubhouse.
Fabulous.
And so you all book your appointments. This is the change we've been looking for. We wanted to get out of debt, and it seemed insurmountable the way that people were talking about it. It seemed like, okay, just strap up. We're going to be on this plane for a really long time. And you're saying not so.
Not so at all.
Wow.
But you have to know what we're doing is we're taking all of those mathematical calculations that the bank is using, and we're mimicking those in our favor. So what we've done is we turned the tables. And actually, the bank is fine with that. Their initial is great. They got their money. And if we pay it off sooner, they can just reloan it. I mean, if you really understood how many times they loan your money that you put in, you just, so.
Right. This is an eye-opener. Had no idea we were going to be so enlightened to be able, because you're like, okay, I need to get my finances in order, and everybody's trying to get their finances in order. And I was like, what's bill to pay when the algorithm runs it based on whatever the banks were doing? Oh my gosh, this is good. Terry?
The exact date, the exact dollar amount to the penny, it will tell you to move. And sometimes it moves it all to savings, the extra to savings, because making a lump sum payment to a bill can reduce so much more than just that dribble drabble. Well, you don't know that, right? So, and I get excited. One more testimonial. We have an ag client that isn't mine, I'll admit. He's from one of our colleagues across the country, but I use his testimonial all the time. And he had a piece of equipment that he sold from the farm for $30,000. And so he said, well, you know what? I've got this property loan for one of my fields for $30,000. I just want that paid off. And here's the challenge. Even someone who owns the system has an emotional attachment to some of their bills. All of us have an emotional attachment to something we shouldn't have done, we wish we hadn't have done, or darn it, I just want it done, right? So he decided he would personally take that $30,000 and pay off his ag loan. And he canceled $9,000 in interest. And you would think, woohoo, well, this is a good deal, which it is. However, his representative said, well, what if you just put it through the system? So let's just go back and put it in the system and pretend. What would the system have done? And the system would have split that $30,000 into 3 of his loans and canceled $15,000 in interest. And he lost $6,000 in interest by thinking he knew what to do with the money. And he owns the system.
Oh, wow.
It's not just a bill paying system, folks. This is a thinking piece that we don't have.
We have now someone on our side to help us, because the banks seem like, or the banking system seem like they've been getting away with a bunch of stuff. You put something in a savings account and you get less than 1% on your savings, and you're like, come on. But when you go to get a credit card, they want to charge you 15, 16, 17, 27%. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. So, okay, Alexis asked me to put your email in over here on the chat. I will put that in there.
You know, I just realized I should put my scheduler in there. Let me see if I have it up here, and I can just put my Acuity link in here for you.
Okay, we can do that, and then we just book an appointment instead of going.
Yeah, you can just book the appointment.
Then, well, yeah, just go straight to the scheduler. This is good. I suggest that all BizChicks book an appointment, because I'm just seeing, wow. Terry, what are your thoughts?
This is a life-changing conversation. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a winner.
Now, this is my full calendar link. I did not separate out a 30 minute or whatever, but you can look at my titles and pick one. I don't care. Just let's get online.
Okay, great. Alexis, go ahead, say something.
Yeah. So this really interests me because I have my boss who he has a vision of where he wants to be. He wants to retire when he's 60. He's 50 now. Maybe 60 something. Right? He owns properties, he owns his own business, and he's investing. But I'm thinking if he would be able to do this system, he probably would figure out how he can do that on a better timeline than just, the normal way. Because he's doing it the normal way. You do your 401k, you do your, you go to this financial advisor, that financial advisor, you put your stocks and bonds, and, he has properties that he has. So in that system, does it incorporate all of that and then show you, okay, this is where you need, does it also work for retirement? I guess that's really what I'm asking. But if you're saying, listen, I want to retire at this time, this is how much I have in debt. How can I get to that retirement with no debt, less debt?
Yes. And the beauty is they're going to see that they have money left. I mean, let's imagine that you're supposed to be in debt for 26.1 years, and we have you out in 11.4, right? And the payment that you would have been making to the bank every single month beyond the 11.4 years, you put in a interest-bearing, one of those professionals will tell you best what interest-bearing account to put it in. I'm going to tell you for that client, we only showed on our, and we don't do any of this. This is not a conflict for anything everybody else does. I want you to know you become a business partner or a referral partner and never conflict with what you do, because we don't do that. But we show them that he would have made $898,000 at a 1% interest. Now, everybody on here knows a professional that can get them more than 1% interest. So having that money to work with now is the advantage for a real estate investor, somebody like Francine who helps you find an investment, or any of the above investments, or crypto, whatever you're going to do. This it shows you where the money is.
Look, the computers are running the world. We might as well listen to this one. Seriously, because we've been trying to figure it out on our own, pulling out our little piece of paper and doing what all the gurus have said, and it ain't working.
Me too. Me too. I mean, it does work. Let's not discount what some of the gurus have said and that it's worked for people, but it hasn't worked in the fact that, I mean, I had a friend who followed one of them and got out of debt, and now they're in a new home and moved and everything's beautiful, but they had to sell their house, buy a trailer, put it in the backyard of her mom, and raise their 2 kids there for 3 years to get the money to get back in a house. So we're not talking about a ramen noodle diet, right? We're talking about, we hardly touch your lifestyle at all.
Oh, yeah. See, I need to book my appointment today.
This will be so fun, you guys. I have a blast doing this, and it's incredibly confidential. We don't spread anything. We never use names unless we're allowed, right? Everything is just between us. And I have, honestly, my situation was not always great, so I completely understand. And my tagline on everything is, it doesn't matter how we got here. It all that counts is what we do now.
All right.
All right. Carrie, thank you so much. And please stick around. This was genius right here. I'm going to say it again. And because, I just need to work on some stuff.
We'll come back after you do and see what your results are.
Yes, Mr. IGGNF. He says, how much does this course cost? Dave said that all we need to do is on beans and rice. Okay, she just said we ain't got to do ramen, so that means we ain't got to do beans and rice either.
No. Yes, we don't have to do beans and rice at all. So it really depends on how you want to go into the program. So I do have a couple of different levels. But if I were going to save you $100,000, is $10,000 a pretty good investment to save you $100,000? Well, here's the good news. It's not $100,000. It's not $500,000, $50,000. Excuse me. It's not $10,000 or $5,000. And it's included when you look at our analysis. We will already include the price of the program. So you'll be looking at savings analysis that is clean and clear, and we'll show you how.
All right.
It's just remarkable.
Y'all just need to book an appointment. Just book the appointment. I'm like, okay.
Well, I'm already booked. I'll see you tomorrow at 10:30.
Alexis, you took my spot, man. Okay.
I enjoy sharing this so much because it meant so much to us. I never knew any of this.
Oh my gosh. That is why you need to have a membership at BizChicks. It doesn't cost you anything to get in here, but we get genius level information from people like Carrie who come in and help. That is all. Terry and I, when we started BizChicks, the only reason why is to help you take the hassle out of your hustle. And debt is a major hassle. And not knowing what to do. Go ahead.
I am so impressed. I encourage everyone to pursue this and look into this and see what the possibilities are for a brighter, happier financial future.
And here's the thing. If we can't help you right now, if your finances are just such that we can't help you, of course, it's complimentary. There's no charge for us to do this. And we'll give you a path that you can take a look at. Not something that we do, but just give you some options to take a look at for yourself, because we have a lot of referral partners. And so if that's something that you need, we won't leave you hanging.
Wow. Alexis, you were saying something? Alexis?
Sorry, I was on mute. I can't see how, I see why there's not a conflict, because technically it's more money for them. If you can find a way for people to have more money to give to them to do what they do, they should be all for that. To me, that's how I look at it. Like financial advisors and everything. If you find a way that to give me extra money so I can invest with them.
Yes.
It's a win-win for everybody.
Exactly. And I'll tell you, most financial planners tell us, well, you'll take all of my clients' money. Or they say, I have a client that needs to pay off all their debt before they come to me. And we're trying to get their mind wrapped around the fact that they can do both at the same time.
Wow. How people, you pray for an idea or something to help you. God has answered your prayers. Let's get our financial picture better right now. There's no reason why we can't. And we have a trusted source. It's, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can go online and everybody and their grandma is on YouTube telling you to do this. And I'm like, okay. But Carrie she's bringing us good information, and you can go check it out and ask questions and look at her track record. So thank you, Carrie, for being here today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I love you women. I'm on every once in a while just as a spectator, right? And I'm so glad I got to share.
I'm so glad you shared. So okay, so we're gonna
Terry, you're muted, honey.
I'm so happy you came by. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we've got some BizChicks waiting in the wings to tell us a little bit about their business. But Carrie, we will have you back soon. Oh my goodness. Okay. I know you're going to be busy, so we're going to have to get on the schedule.
I think so.
Yes. Book an appointment, people.
Okay.
All right. And so continuing on with BizChicks, we also want to give people here in the audience, if you're a BizChicks member, you need to come tell us about what it is you do, what you got going on. And so Linus is coming up today to tell us what she's got going on.
Hi, Linus. How you doing?
Hey, how are you doing? Good to see you all.
It's great to have you.
And before I jump over to Linus, Dr. Tachi said this was great.
Yeah.
And we're getting we're getting people who are excited about what you got going on, Carrie. Okay, Linus.
Yes, I'm going to tell my daughters about this. Thankfully, our debt is pretty much under control because we both are retired. So we got lucky thanks to my husband, but I'm definitely going to be sharing it with my daughters who are all in their 30s. I think one just paid off their student loan. Mm-hmm. She paid off everything. That's my 37-year-old. But my other two, I'm definitely going to be referring them to you. Yes, they have their own little investment club. They are very financially savvy. They're getting ready to buy an apartment building in Idaho somewhere, but that's still debt. So definitely I will refer them to you. Thank you so much for your information. I wish I'd known that back then.
I hear you.
Right. Good to see you again, Linus.
Good to see you too. Good to see you too.
There's a question for Carrie before we jump into Linus. Jill asked, did Carrie used to do a simplifying business?
Yes.
That was you. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, this, but right here, I think you found your calling. Mm-hmm. Okay. Linus, what you got going on?
Well, I wanted to share with you two things, and I put my link tree up there in the chat because that will lead you to everything that's going on. But the first thing is on September 15th, I am doing with my good friend Jen Axe a call or a workshop called Gestures in the Vibe. And Gestures is a holistic tool to help you move through your emotions. What we do is we journal, and then we also help you figure out what is the emotion you want to get rid of or want to move through, and then we assign a gesture to it, and you move to remove some of that you're feeling. Like for instance, if you are feeling stress on that day, and then we'll ask you to journal. We'll have some prompts for you to journal about stress. And then after you've gone through that, we'll put on some music and say, okay, I want you to move based upon how you feel to help get it out. Because what has happened a lot, especially with midlife women, and we had kind of like a triple whammy. The first thing is midlife women, our experience has kind of shown us how to push emotions back, keep moving forward, keep moving forward. That's just what we do. And then second of all, some of us are going through hormonal changes. Almost all of us are, whether you're through with menopause or not, or in the throes of PMS, doesn't matter. Hormones are up and down. And so we don't want to appear like we're too whatever emotionally. So we put that down. And then the third thing was the pandemic. We were trying to be strong for everybody else, all of our families and everything, because, they were going through things. We pushed some of our feelings down even further. So now what we have is kind of like an emotional constipation where we're just not in touch with our feelings, and we need to be so that we can get them out. And the reason why we want to get them out is because if we keep those things in, that's where disease starts. Disease means dis-ease. Feeling uneasy, uncomfortable with how we're feeling. And sometimes we can't always communicate it. We can't even reach it. Sometimes it's so far back on that burner, we can't put it to the front burner. So this is one holistic practice that might be able to help you. If you want to see what I'm talking about, some of my gestures are on my Instagram. And if you click on my link tree, it'll also take you to my Instagram, and you'll see some of the gestures. And you'll also see a link that says gestures where you can go ahead and do the workshops. We have 4 workshops, and each one stands for one of the initials of vibe. We're going to do vibrancy, intuition, beauty, inner beauty, radiating out, and emergence. So by the end of the workshop, you'll have a whole series of gestures that you can use whenever you want to work through some of the feelings that you're feeling, or you can purchase the whole class. You can do them individually or purchase the whole class or workshop series. So that's one thing, and that's on September 15th. The other thing is that on October 22nd, the tickets just went on sale this morning, and they're already selling. I am hosting, Jill Diamond Taylor and I are coming together to host a Sister Soul Saturday on October 22nd in Fair Oaks. For those of you that are in California, there are groups of women that are getting together in Los Angeles that are coming up for this event. It is going to be awesome. It will be outside under a tent. And both Jill and I are putting together this really fabulous program to help you get re-energized, restored, and renewed, and reconnected with your mind, body, and spirit emotion. Jewel was the author. For those of you who don't know, you'll probably remember this phrase. One of her books was I'm Too Blessed to Be Stressed. That was her original book that she's written, and she wrote Shift Happens. She's a great author, great motivational speaker. I'll be talking about wellness issues and how to get motivated to make those small life changes incrementally to change your life for the better and get you on a wellness journey. We really want this to be something that, is fun, a lot of fellowship, some great food. We'll be outside. It's going to be October 22nd, but if needed, we'll have heaters out there, but I think it's going to be okay. It's going to be on a tennis court in the private residence, my house, in my backyard. You guys have been in my backyard, so you know how big.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, how big it is back there. And so I really wanted to invite all of you personally. For those of you who belong to my Vibe Wellness Woman group on Facebook, your tickets are $10 off. So if you don't belong, hurry up and belong so that you can get that discount. And you can click on the link tree, and that will take you to my group as well. But I just wanted to come on and share that. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be great. I just came back from an almost 3-week break. I mean, I was kind of checking in here and out, but I changed my environment, and I cannot tell you all the download that has come as a result of changing my environment. So I've posted some of my pictures on Instagram if you want to take a look at some of the crazy stuff I did while I was there with my daughter. She rolled out the carpet, and we had so much fun. My bestie Sherry came down to Miami to meet me, and we had so much fun. It was ridiculous fun. My daughter said that we are, what's the name of that show? Well, we call each other Lucy and Ethel, but now that we're a little older, we call each other now Frankie and Gracie. So my daughter, by the time we left, she was exhausted. dealing with these mature ladies. But anyway, just wanted to share all of that with you. I hope you all will check it out. Just click on my link tree about Gestures in the Vibe and also the Sister Soul Saturday. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Linus. Appreciate you stepping in. And
Linus, I want to thank you so much because I know that you've had some interesting things going on in the background of all of this, and to see you on air smiling and talking about being energized, I really appreciate all that you do for us and the encouragement that you are giving to us through this.
Thank you. Yes, I've had some challenges. Yeah,
Five women, yeah. So
yeah.
I want you to know we're praying for you, and that all
Thank
is
you.
well. And we look
Thank you. I will tell you, my daughter is doing fine.
Good,
She's
good.
optimistic, and
Yes,
we're
yes.
hoping that all will be well. When I did get home, though, I came home to a redone backyard and
Wow.
almost done, but not quite done. Still living with the remodel in my house, but my husband was very busy with his newly retired project,
Mm.
so. I came back and I was like, okay, this is good. So, hey, I am grateful with so many
Yes.
people who are going through so much.
Mhm.
I am grateful just to have a house to
I
live
hear
in
you.
or to have
Exactly.
a house to remodel. I'm very,
Mhm.
very grateful.
God
God
is good. Yes,
all
he
the
is.
time. All the time.
So
wow.
thank you so much for dropping in, and we look forward to hearing more about your upcoming event with Jewel Diamond Taylor.
Yes.
And Jill says this. She says, "Thanks. That sounds great. I'm on the road, but I hope I'll remember to peak." And
Well, if it's okay with the Biz Chicks, I'll share some of my postings so that people who aren't here, if that's okay, I will. And
we
then that
will.
way you'll get it.
You can share it in the group.
Yeah,
And
in the group.
right. And if you, I know y'all, like, some people don't like moving to new neighborhoods and things, but if you are on the Biz Chicks Heartbeat group, you can share it over there as well. Because,
Heartbeat. Okay, I haven't. Okay.
yeah, just bizchicks.net. Because see, over there, there's no clutter. There's no, I got to go through wherever to get to the group. You don't have to pick whichever page. Okay, wait, am I in the right profile to
I
get?
get it. I get it.
You don't
Yeah.
got to do all of that. It's just not. It's very, very. There's like I-5 going to Los Angeles from Sacramento. Nothing.
So
I
much
hear you.
easier navigation, okay? So that you can go just over there. You can check Biz to 33777, or you can go through bizchicks.net. All roads lead to the Biz Chicks Heartbeat.
Right.
Okay.
And yes, and so that, and we can host and do different things over there. We can do workshops. We can do, it's a really nice.
Yeah, I've been over there before. I'm definitely going to check more into it and be in touch with you all because I'm getting ready to start a membership site, and I don't want to do it by myself. So,
Okay.
And it's really good for that.
yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah, somebody turn this on. And then the gentleman over here, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm just going to call him Mr. He was in here, and he said, I booked my appointment with
Carrie.
Gary. Yeah.
All right, Carrie. Oh my goodness. And I look forward to hearing from Jewel Diamond Taylor. I heard from her before. And in fact, I have both her books, Too Blessed to Be Stressed and The Shift. So, and they're good books. And they're easy reads, people.
Mhm.
So it's not
Nice
War and Peace, not War and Peace.
That's a good one.
Because sometimes we say a book and not another book. But yes, it's an easy read and it's applicable. You can do it. You can do the things, the suggestions in the book. So with that, Fran, do we have any other guests? I don't see anyone in the green room right now.
Nope, that's it for today. So if on first Mondays, if you ever want to come and talk about what it is and what you do, you can DM us. And if you're in the space over on Heartbeat, you can just say, okay, I want to join in, and then we'll send you a link. Carrie, thank you again. Linus, thank you. And we had a few people in here who want the live in person thing. So we got to work on some stuff. Terry has got some ideas. We might do it in our
new office space.
Yeah, our office space has a really nice community room. So we're looking, and so we got to talk to
parking.
Excellent parking. You don't have to pay, and you don't have to fight with the mall people.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can we can talk to what's her name? Boxables.
Oh, okay. Yes. Now her name escapes me too. Okay.
Anyway, you know who you are. Claudia. Woo! I was like, what? Okay.
There you go. And Lakeisha says that's new. What's that?
Claudia J. Newman. Yay.
Yes. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Lakeisha. And yeah. So we're looking forward to talking to you guys. Thank you again, Carrie. And we want to let you know that we're here to help you guys run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. So, Carrie, we're going to say bye-bye and we're going to wrap up. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. And we'll see you next time.
Okay, guys, remember, it's okay to make money in your business. So go to the front of your own line. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.